Hi everybody, it's me, Carrie Beglow, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Farmington Hills, Michigan. I am here today doing a pre-recorded video that talks about the awesome Thoughtful Expressions bundle, which you can find as part of the Poetic Expressions suite in the new mini catalog. The bundle for both the dies and the stamp sets are $55.75. And that means you would qualify for something awesome out of our wonderful celebration catalog. That is our Stampin' Up! Sale that runs January to February 2024. Okay, so we're going to be using one of the sentiments out of the stamp set. These three smallest dies out of this like flowery label. I don't know what else to call it. These three leaf dies out of the die set. We're going to be using the 2023-24 in color dots, okay? One of the dies from the basics folders, these are available, there's 3 of them. They're available as an online exclusive, so check my website, MemoryINKers.com. These are the best. We're also going to be using the Pebbled Path ink pad, a Moody Mauve marker, Stampin' Write marker, which comes in the pack of all 5 of the in colors for 2023 through 2025. One of the brads from the round and square brads, and then a piece of thick basic white. And you can see I have already pre-cut out the shapes from these awesome dies right here. They're all there. And one of the things I want to point out is this and these, they actually make them stitched. I'm not sure how well you can see that on the video, but they are stitched all around the edges and on the outer edges. So if you wanted like a hole in your card, which I've done some of those before, so I think you guys would know, that's what those are. Now the first thing I am going to do is, let me move all of this stuff out of the way. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to take my piece of thick basic white and I'm going to fold it in half at the score line. You guys know I always say to pre-score your thick cardstock. So I've already done that, and then just score it really good. I'm going to take my Pebbled Path ink, and this is the only stamping I'm doing on this, unless you want to stamp the inside, of course. And I'm inking up this great sentiment, enjoy your day. And I'm going to set it at the bottom. There you go. So that is it for the stamping. Then I am going to take all of these and I'm going to crunch them up. Now it's thick, so if it hurts your hands, grab your bone folder first and just kind of rough up, go in opposite directions. And that will soften it a little bit. It makes it a little bit easier to squeeze it in your fingers. And you're just going to squish it. You want it to be as mutilated as you can get it. I know it seems crazy to do that, but I think some of you have seen this done before, where you can turn them into flowers. So I'm going to do that to all 3 of the pieces, not the leaves. And then I'm going to go over to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to emboss just a part of this card front, because I don't want to emboss over where I put my sentiment, right? So I'm going to open it up, and there's 2 ways to do this. I can go ahead and put the whole thing in there and just stop my embossing folder where I want to stop it, but I don't want to run it through like this. First of all, my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine isn't wide enough to do 8.5. I could have cut a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 and had it separate and laid on top, but I wanted to make it a 1-sheet card. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put it in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, say that 3 times fast, and I am going to move it to where I want it to stop embossing, right about there. Now I am going to run it through my machine this way. Normally, that's a no-no, but on occasion, it's okay if you don't make a habit of it. So I will be right back with this all embossed and all 3 of my little flowers squished. Be right back. Okay, so one little thing was, I don't know what I was thinking. I couldn't put it through this way because it was too wide. I couldn't put it through this way because it was too wide. So I did end up folding it over, which then did cause it to have a little bit of an edge here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim this down so that I can then put it on another piece of cardstock. So lessons learned. Hey, even someone who's been doing it for almost 23 years sometimes doesn't quite get it right. I'll be right back. Okay, so now that's a little bit better. So in correction of what I said earlier was that I am going to be still using a basic white card base, but because I wanted to emboss it only partially, and I'm hoping you guys can see that on the video, I did end up trimming it to 5 1/4 by 4, and it's going to go on top of my card base. So again, I'm going to go ahead and fold that. Again, of course, it's thick, so I did score it first. But before I put it on top, now the cool thing about that is that does allow you to go ahead and put it up on dimensionals if you are so inclined. But I want to be sure that it's noticeable that there is an end where I stopped embossing. So what I'm going to do is I am going to grab my grid paper and a ruler. So I'm going to line up this card. Basically, it's almost perfect, but not quite. I don't know how well. Let me see if I can zoom in on this for you guys. It's not quite perfect there. So I'm going to keep it squared off, but I'm going to take the ruler and I am going to cover up the bottom half and get this as close, but not right on top of the part that's embossed. And I'm going to grab my Stampin' Right marker and I'm going to use the pointy end and I'm just going to run it. Now look, now I have a little stripe right there that shows the end of the embossing, and it almost looks like a ribbon or a piece of linen thread, but all it is it's a marker. So let me zoom back down. So now we have all of our pieces ready. As you can see, these are the little flowery labels that I have quite well mutilated, and all 3 sizes are right here. Okay, now if you want to, you can use your blending brushes to add a little color to the edges. I'm not going to do that. All I want to do is, and it's a little hard for me in this lighting, so I'm going to have to move them out of the way for a minute. Make sure I have the stitching in the right place. And I want you to notice that this one is starting to peel. That's okay with me. You can actually peel them apart if you rough them up enough and you get like a velvety texture to them. I don't want that, but I don't mind that it's kind of messy. So that one is straight up. Let me check this one. Hold on. Yep, that is straight up. And that is straight up. Okay, perfect. So now I have a little piece of foam. Of course, you can use the Stampin' Up! Foam mat that we have, but I didn't want to put giant holes in it. So I have this old piece of foam from I don't even know when, and I am going to layer these on top. No glue needed. Just going to kind of center them on there, and I'll get them a little straighter in just a minute. Then I'm grabbing one of the little brads. It's very tiny. The square ones are bigger, and they come in black and white. I am going to be using the black. I'm going to move that so I don't accidentally poke it. And I'm going to just play with this for a minute to try and get it to look fairly centered between the 3 layers. That looks pretty good. Finding the center then of that and press. And you want to make a decent hole because you want to be able to put your brad in there. And I like how when you squish it in the foam, it squishes it even a little bit more. Then I am going to just take the little feeties and spread those out. And then all it takes is some adhesive. I'm going to put a nice glob in the center of that and put it right there, center of my card, and hold it for just a minute. Now it is not going to be perfectly dry yet, so I don't want to do too much with it. Now I'm going to take some of the little leaves, just add a little bit of adhesive. I'm going to hold that in place so it doesn't move on me. And these also, you know, when you die cut, you kind of have a front and a back. You can feel it. It's probably impossible to see, but you can kind of feel the difference. Again, holding my center of my flower. I'm going to move that a little bit. Yeah, that looks a little better. And then just these little leaves for right down there. Push them in a little. Get it to where you like it. Now I am going to go ahead and I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. And I got to find my big ones. Oh, I'm almost out. Let me grab a pack. One thing I always have on hand is dimensionals. Sometimes there are a lot of partial pieces, but I have them. So I am going to set these on there. Now this is a pretty big piece, so I'm going to probably want to use a lot of them because it is going to go on the whole card. So, I mean, it's a personal preference thing. You don't have to use this many if you don't want to. But I kind of like to get a little carried away sometimes when it's this big of a piece. Now, this is where you have to decide, do you want to use your take your pick tool to pick at it? I'm going to do it, but you know that you're going to be squishing that flower in the center. So I think I'm going to avoid the center one for now. And just going to use my fingers for the rest of these, because I don't want to squish this one by squishing it down too much. So now I can just put this right in the center of my card. It's not perfectly centered. Don't press down really hard until you know you have it where you want it. And just go very slow when you want. Now see, that's there, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's okay if it's not exactly even with the other one. There we go. All right, so now I have all that. It's already pretty, right? But I'm going to zoom in a little so you guys can watch while I add some fun bling. Now, I'm going to use, I think you could use either the mossy moody mauve or the what is it called? Something stone. Pebbled Path. That's what it is. And on the other one I'm going to show you, I did use Pebbled Path. But on this one, just to make it a little bit different, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to use the Moody Mauve on this one. And you guys can tell me which one you like better. And there you go. Just a little bit of bling. If you wanted to, you could put another one here, but I kind of like the black dot. You can also, I don't know if you know, you can dip your brads in Versamark ink and then in embossing powder, and you can color them that way. So that is the card for today. And here is the one I did before. This one I did because it was a 6x6 embossing folder. It was able to go through the machine the way I wanted it to. And I did do that one sideways, and somehow it worked. I don't remember how, but it did. Oh, I know why. Because this one goes this way. So I was able to do it like that. So there are the two cards. I'm curious to know, which one do you like best? So I hope you enjoyed this fun, easy card with the awesome Thoughtful Expressions bundle, which again is in the new mini catalog. And it does come with these awesome dies. There are a few other cards that I have done with it. Let me show you real quick. You'll be seeing these pop up on my page. And I'll just grab one of these. Oops, sorry about that. And this one. And that one. So you're going to see some of these as this or that pop up on my page. But for now, I'd love to know, which do you prefer? This one uses all the pebbled path, even the marker is pebbled path, and the gems, the dots. And these dots are the Moody Mauve and the Moody Mauve marker. What is your preference? I would love to know. Please share this video with your friends. I'd love to have them join us here on Facebook.com/MemoryInkers. And don't forget, that's where you can go shopping 24/7. That is my Stampin' Up! Website, MemoryInkers.com. If you have questions, go ahead and comment below. Or you can email me at MemoryInkers@gmail.com. And don't forget, there will be a hostess code. It is not on this video because it's pre-recorded and the hostess code has not yet been created, but it will be there. Go to my website or my Facebook page and you will find it, or just contact me and reach out. All right, have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everybody.